Deep in the Appalachian foothills of Kentucky, an old family held onto a set of rules. Rules that seemed a bit strange, even ridiculous at first. Don't whistle in the woods. Don't go into the woods alone. If you hear your name being called, don't answer. And if you see somebody in the woods that you think you know you didn't. Tonight, we're diving into a first-hand account from NoSleep, a story about an unknown entity, a dark family secret, and an eerie set of warnings meant to keep something or someone out. But what if warnings weren't enough? What if it got in? Our storyteller was just 11 years old when he experienced something he still can't explain. He lived with his father and grandmother in a holler, a deep valley between foothills, where the only neighbors were family. His grandmother laid down the rules. You don't answer if you hear your name called, you don't whistle, and if you see something that looks like someone you know you didn't. And he followed those rules his whole life. Until one warm August night, he and his father were camping just a short walk away from their home. The woods were alive with sound, the chirping of crickets, the babbling of a nearby stream, the rustling of trees. His father left to check on his grandmother, leaving him alone with the fire. But within minutes, everything changed. The forest fell silent. No crickets, no wind. Even the sound of the stream faded out, like it had been swallowed by the dark. And then he smelled it. An awful, disgusting, metallic tang. It was so strong that he could taste it in the back of his throat. The fire started to flicker. His chest tightened, and just as he started to panic, his father returned to the campsite. But instead of comfort, his father was furious. "Did you throw something in the fire?" he yelled. "I can smell burning metal." The boy just shook his head. The fire was untouched. His father's face darkened. "Storm's coming. Let's go," he said. And so they walked home, leaving their tent behind. The rain had just started falling when the first bolt of lightning flashed, and for a split second, everything was as bright as day. And that's when he saw it. A figure, just past the yard, across the stream, just beyond the first line of trees. The light just vanished after that, leaving only darkness, and his stomach turned. The next flash of lightning came, and the figure was closer. It stood between the trees now. The shape was just wrong. The head was too big. The arms, they were too long. It was like a blind man's drawing of a person, warped and unnatural. Another flash. The thing stood in the middle of the road. No hesitation, he and his father turned and ran inside. His grandmother didn't even question him and his father. She ordered his father to lock every single door and window. Her hands were shaking as she spoke. That night, he slept in her bed. The next morning, they went out and found the tent. The door had been torn open, not cut, not clawed, but pulled apart. Up the road, his uncle's chickens were found dead. No blood, no heads. For weeks after, kids weren't allowed to wait for the bus alone. Nobody spoke about what happened. And when years later, the storyteller finally mentioned it again, his aunt cut him off. Her voice was sharp with fear. "Don't you talk about that. Don't you put that evil on them." And that was the moment he realized. They knew. They had always known. And upon digging a little deeper, there was a name for what he saw that night. The Goatman. The Goatman legend stretches across the country, but in Appalachia specifically, it carries a really heavy weight. Stories describe the entity as something that mimics human voices, calls to people in the woods, and appears in a form that is almost, but not quite human. Those who encounter it often report the same strange details. The overwhelming metallic scent, unnatural silence, and the unshakable sense of being watched. I myself have never seen the Goatman, but growing up in Kentucky, you always hear about the Pope Lick monster in Louisville. But I always heard stories, especially about Devil's Creek, near Cumberland Falls. They say that the Goatman stalked the woods there, waiting in the dark for anybody foolish enough to drive through at night. But what made Devil's Creek different was the origin story. It wasn't just a regular old folktale. In the 1970s or 80s, a biker gang took over the small community that once called Devil's Creek home. People whisper about what really happened there. Some say they drove out the locals. Others say something much darker took place because, according to the legend, a sacrifice was made. A human, a goat, and a twisted ritual, and from that the Goatman was born. People who drove through Devil's Creek at night told stories of something slamming into their cars, something huge with twisted limbs and burning red eyes. Others claimed to hear their names whispered in the wind, urging them to pull over, to step outside into the dark. A few people did, and they were never seen again. Whatever happened in Devil's Creek, one thing is for sure. The Goatman is not just a campfire story, because people around there, they still talk about him. They still claim to see him. And if you ever find yourself near Cumberland Falls at night, maybe just keep your doors locked. And whatever you do, don't stop. So, what is the Goatman? Is he a cryptid, a spirit, a demon? Some people believe that Goatman is a flesh and blood creature, possibly an undiscovered predator that has been lurking in the wilderness for thousands of years. Others tie it to Native American folklore, an entity that wears the skin of men but is not of this world. Sounds very much like a skinwalker or a wendigo if you want to get into the mixed mythologies. More modern theories suggest it could be related to the missing 411 cases that were popularized by David Paulides. Strange disappearances in national parks where people report hearing their names called just before vanishing. Could the metallic scent be linked to the ozone from an approaching storm, or is it something more sinister? Whatever it is, one thing is for certain. Those people in the foothills, they still follow the rules. They don't go out alone. They don't answer their name in the dark. And if they see something in the woods that looks familiar, no, they didn't. So what do you think? Have you ever had an experience like this, a strange figure in the woods or a sound that called you when nobody was there? I want to hear your stories. Shoot me an email, drop a comment, or message me on X, and I might just share your experience in a future episode. Our next video is going to be user-submitted Bigfoot stories, so you may be able to slide a story into that one if you're quick enough. Either way, I want to hear from you. Remember, please be safe if you ever go out in the woods looking for any of these things. Some things in the dark are best left unanswered. Stay safe out there.